So here's the takeaway. Sweet Spanish yellow Utah jumbo. That was the best onion for me. Today I'm harvesting onions, and it's actually looking less like a harvest and more like a rescue mission. These onions I started from seed in January 13th, and then I transplanted them outside, so March 13th. And I've noticed my onions have started bolting, which means that they are producing seeds and kind of are finishing their cycle, growing cycle. And you want to harvest your onions before they bolt, because what happens is then the onion can become woody because of this big stalk. The inside of the onion will have like a woody part and it won't taste as good. The onions are still fine to eat. They're just not going to store long term. So my plan with planting so many onions was I wanted to eat some fresh and then dehydrate some for onion powder and then store some like long term. So my plan was to put them in the garage to kind of cure them for a few weeks and then store them in the cool garage and see how long they can last into the winter time and eat them then. So because these have bolted, these onions will not do that. They're not gonna store for me. So these are the ones that I will have to eat fresh and dehydrate for onion powder. But some of the other ones, like this one, he's a beauty. He has not bolted, and he is gonna be perfect for curing and then storing long term. One, and then I have this one also, a few of them. So I planted 3 different varieties of onions this year. So I have ruby red onions, and then I have sweet yellow. Let me see, look. I have the tags with me here. So I planted ruby red. Shout out to my gardener. I love his seeds. Okay. And then I did red impasta. And then I did this one, yellow, sweet Spanish yellow, Utah, but then it says jumbo. And so I'm actually happy with that because these are the onions that look like they ended up to be really big. In the past, I hadn't had good success with big red onions, but these actually are looking very big, and I'm happy with that. So I'll have to repeat that next year. So this is how you know when your onions are ready to be harvested. They will grow, and then when they are ready, when they are done growing, the neck of the onion will fall down like this. It'll bend, and that's when you know the onion is done growing, because the nutrients can't get to the onion anymore because the neck is bent. So it kind of stops the process. So the neck is bent, there's no nutrients going to the bulb, so this one is done growing. Okay, then you also have onions that have bolted, like these have. And what that means is, what happens, why onions bolt is a sign of 2 things: either stress or that they're in their 2nd year of life. So onions are biannual, meaning that the 2nd year that you have them growing, that's when they'll produce seed. So the 1st year you plant them, they grow, and if you don't pick them out of the ground, then the following year they're gonna produce seeds like this. So that's when you get onion seeds from. But also another reason why they bolt is stress. And this was the season, this was the spring that we've had crazy weather. The spring was cold and wet, which was good for my brassicas, my broccoli and cabbage. I had a great big harvest with that, successful. But the onions don't like the change in temperature like this, and so they're kind of stressed out. It was like cold, and then we had the heat wave, and it was like 90+ degree weather. So then we had crazy heat. So the reason why my onions are bolting, going to seed, is they are stressing out. They are as stressed as can be. And obviously all of these onions I planted by seed, and they're all fresh and new this year. So it's obviously they're not bolting because they're biannuals. This is not the second year of their growth. They're bolting because they're stressed. So it is emergency time for my onions. This is a rescue mission for my onions. This is a rescue mission for my onions, and ideally I would have harvested them earlier before I noticed them bolting, but we were gone the whole month of July on vacation, so I wasn't here. So I'm back, I'm ready to take action, and I'm ready to rescue my onions. So here's my notebook that I have for gardening 2025 for this year. And I started my onions right here. January 13th, I started onions right here. And then I list the varieties. And then March 14th is when I transplanted the onions outside. And then I wrote it down. So these are the ones that I did this year. So like these jumbo ones, it actually says excellent variety for slicing, very large onions, so that's why I chose those. And then the impasta, I just wanted a red onion. One of them said it was good for right here. So for the red, the ruby red, it says that it's an ideal for long storing and will last up to 5 months. So that's why I wanted to plant that one. But let me show you some of there's so many different varieties. So yellow sweet Spanish, white sweet Spanish, Walla Walla. These are sweet onions. They're a little bit sweeter and they don't last as long in storage. So I have those. I did this one last year, Ailsa Craig. These ones, White Globe, Red Geneva. So there's so many different varieties that you just have to kind of read the back and read online and just decide what you want to do, what works best for you, what you want to experiment with. And I knew I wanted a yellow onion and I wanted a red onion, and I wanted something that can store a little bit longer, and so this is what I chose for this year. So I'm not gonna keep my seeds, my onion seeds, for next year because they're all cross-pollinated, meaning like when the bees pollinate them or different pollinators, they go from one to the next. So all the varieties have been mixed. So like my red impasta and ruby red, they're all been mixed with the white yellow. Like, so every flower has like a mix of all the other pollens. So I'm not gonna save those seeds because they're not gonna be true to, you know, the mother seed. So it's best to I'm just gonna go and buy the seeds online because I want something specific. I want a red onion, or I want a yellow onion. I want the one that lasts longer in storage, or like a jumbo onion. If I didn't care and I just wanted to grow onions, then I would save seeds, but I care. I want to be more specific. So I'll show you, this is where I keep my seeds. So I like to be organized. So I have my vegetables in here, and then I have my flowers in here. And I can link these in our Amazon affiliate link down below, so you guys can click on the link and it'll take you to where to buy these from. You can order them from there. So here are my flowers, and then here I have my vegetable ones, so all the different tomato varieties, and I have them organized like all the different peppers, all the different cucumbers, squashes. So I have these onions. I'm gonna put them back. I like to keep them this way. Oh, this one got opened up. There you go.
Does it matter where you keep those?
Yes, onions go in here. So
no, I mean in the house where you store your seeds.
Oh, and so then, no, and just you have to keep them in a cool, dark place. And I keep them kind of like on the floor, underneath a certain shelf that we have, because the floor stays nice and cool even in the summertime. And out of the sun, so I got to get these out, put them back in, back home. So I'm gonna harvest them by their variety. So first I have red and pasta. So I'm gonna harvest them all, and then later I'm gonna separate them into the ones that have bolted and the ones that have not bolted. But right now I just wanna collect them all. The red and pasta, let's do it. Look at that beauty. Look how big that is. These are the biggest red onions that I have ever grown the last 4 or 5 years. And variety has a big part to do that. The variety that you plant has to do a lot with the size that the onions will get, and then also when you start them. So I started them January 13th from seed. That was a long time ago. Ooh, look at the roots on that one. Kind of long and awkward here. Okay, let me do this way. Oh, look how big this guy is. Look at, and he has not bolted. Yay! Look at that. Oh my goodness, this is the biggest, fattest, my hand doesn't even go around him. Biggest, fattest onion ever. This is cool. I love it. And this is a regular onion that you would find at the store anyways, for red onions. Cool. These are all red impastas. Look at them. Actually, I think I have. Okay, let's keep going. There's more. Oh, and I talked about this in my garden tour video, but I put this wood shavings mulch down in the spring when I planted the onions. And that is to prevent lots of weeds growing in between. And then also they hold moisture, so then, because onions love moisture, and for the soil to stay nice and damp. So this is for the weeds, no weeds, to prevent the weeds, and then for the moisture, to hold the moisture. So, trying to get all the dirt off of these, well, as much as I can. Oh, I think these are sweet yellow. No, that's sweet yellow. Oh my, I didn't label them very well. Hold on, these are the reds. And that's sweet yellow. That's the color. So now I'm doing sweet Spanish yellow Utah jumbo. That's the key word, jumbo. Oh, yes. These actually have not bolted. Huh. That's interesting to keep in mind. That maybe the sweet Utah yellow ones can withstand the heat a little bit more. Change in temperatures. Look at that. Look at that big one. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. So fun. So fun growing your own food. I love it. Look at that. And then a medium size. And the reason he's a medium size, I actually know why, is right here where he was growing, I have, well, just one left now, but I had 5 plants of cosmos growing there. So I had 5 plants of cosmos growing, and so they were taking up nutrients and water from him. So he's very small. And look at that. Look at this guy. He's also tiny, because I had right about here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cosmos growing. And so they took up nutrients from him. But I didn't want to take the cosmos out. I didn't want to sacrifice that. So it's a smaller onion, but you can see this is like how big they get. But he was just a little too close to the cosmos. Look at that. Crazy. I'm growing more of these next year. Oh, I have more. These are still... Hello? Oh my. What happened to him? See, one weed. baby. Little baby. Look at that. Okay, so we got 2 varieties so far. So I have my final variety left to pick, and these are ruby red. Okay. Starting out good. Wow, two-handed. Oh, look how big. Look how big he is. Huge. Oh, I'm sorry, onions, I didn't get to you sooner. Yay. Oh, almost didn't see him. Okay, this is it for this bed, but I actually have a few what I call stragglers that are planted behind the tomatoes along the fence line. Okay, these are all ruby reds. I don't want to put them on one side. So this is the last of the onions from this bed. But the funny thing is I had a few onions that were left over that didn't fit in this bed. And so I couldn't just kill them and throw them away. So I wanted to plant them out, but I didn't want to give them any prime real estate. So I just kind of tucked them away. I was like, I have space back there behind the tomatoes. So I planted them along the fence line behind the tomatoes, knowing that the sun kind of comes this way and goes that way. And so the tomatoes will make shade coming this way, so the onion should be okay. And they actually did pretty good. They actually got more sun than I thought they would. So even maybe next year, I'm actually might plant onions along the fence line again. So let's go look at those. Now this is gonna be a true rescue mission because I'll have to dig in all of, look at this jungle. I have to dig to find them. So, are you ready for this? This is serious. This will require me to put my hair up so it's not getting caught in all these plants. Okay, we ready? Let's go. Grass. So these are all red. So here's the first batch. And they actually look normal, like what you would get at the grocery store. I'm surprised. So here, let me put them aside. Let's keep going. Okay, here's a few little ones. Oh my. Okay, I'll be back. Let me get my kneeling pad. Okay, and go back up. Okay, last batch. When I planted these, I didn't think about harvesting them. That I would have to crawl in there. Okay. And more? Oh, two more. Got it. Some big ones. Look at these ones. Hey, not bad for being stragglers over here. I didn't even care about them. I planted them here on the side and they actually delivered. Cool. Let's go put them this way. So this is the whole, the misfits, the unwanted, but that's some good sizes. This is good. Cool. Okay. Away. All done. Whew, did I tell you that it's hot? Very hot outside. Okay, let me do this and then I'll come back. So here's the takeaway. Sweet Spanish yellow Utah jumbo. That was the best onion for me. It had the biggest bulb size and they bolted the least amount of voltage. So out of 20 onions, only 5 of them have bolted. So these are the winner. I'm definitely growing them again next year. So these are ruby red and they are 22 onions. And these have the most bolted onions. Let me put them over here and I'll count them. So these are ruby red. Out of the 22 onions, only 4 of them that did not bolt. All the rest of them bolted. So these are red impasta, and there's 22 onions and only 5 of them bolted, and the rest have not bolted. So these are all good. Look at that, that would be such a nice storage onion. Beautiful. So if I were to do this again out of these varieties, I would definitely grow the Utah yellow and then red impasta. And then hopefully our weather is not going to be as crazy as this year was, and that the onions can grow longer and not stress out and bolt. So this is like unusual for all of them to bolt so much. It's just been crazy weather. So anyways, onion harvest 2025 is done. I'm happy. So follow along. Rescue mission complete.